Bill O'Reilly here. Tuesday, January 28th, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Will John Bolton testify against President Trump? The U.S. State Department warning against traveling to China. New poll finds college professors donate far more to Democrats than Republicans. Studies show the average home wastes a third of its food. More Americans visited public libraries than movie theaters last year. Also ahead, false reporting about the pro-life movement. But first, although few Americans are watching the impeachment trial in the Senate rolls along, looks now like former National Security Advisor John Bolton will be called to testify, and maybe even Joe Biden. That, of course, would create much chaos in America. We should know by the end of the week if that will happen. State Department issuing a rare warning about visiting China. The agency telling people not to travel to the region because of the coronavirus outbreak. Beijing has already quarantined 60 million Chinese. There have been about 2,900 cases confirmed worldwide, including 5 in the USA. New poll says college professors donate far more money to Democrats than Republicans. According to the National Association of Scholars, faculty members give money to liberal politicians at a rate 95-1. That, of course, influences how professors teach their students. Nearly a third of American food ends up down the drain. Researchers at Penn State say the average household throws 33% of groceries in the garbage. Believe it or not, the biggest factor is a healthy diet. Americans struggling to watch their weight often toss excess food. Gallup finds more Americans spent their leisure time inside a library than at the movies or sporting events in 2019. Poll shows the average person visited the public library 10 times last year, outpacing 5 visits to the movie theater, 4 to sporting events, and 3 trips to see live music. Of course, the libraries are free. The other stuff costs money, especially if you buy popcorn when watching the film. In a moment, more bad reporting, this time on the pro-life movement in America. Right back. Computer systems in cars are now common. There are electronically controlled transmissions, touchscreen displays, dozens of sensors. All this advanced tech is expensive to fix if it breaks. That's why I have Car Shield. Car Shield has affordable protection plans that can save you thousands for repairs, including computers, GPS, electronics, and more. With Car Shield, you choose your plan and your favorite mechanic or dealership to do the work. Car Shield takes care of the rest. They also offer 24/7 roadside assistance and a rental car while your car is being fixed. Free. So drive with confidence knowing you have coverage from America's #1 auto protection provider. Get covered by Car Shield today. Please call 800-CAR-6000 and mention code BILL or visit carshield.com and use code BILL to save 10%. That's carshield.com, code BILL. A deductible may apply. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. More evidence of the national media's descent into corruption. Last Friday, more than 100,000 people attended the March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. It's an annual event. But for the first time in history, a president addressed the group in person. Donald Trump telling the nation that he supports life and opposes abortion without restriction. That, of course, angered some on the left who believe that instead of Bill Clinton's wish to make abortion rare, the existence-ending procedure should have no limits at all, none. In fact, the liberal governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam, said last year that if an abortion was botched and the baby birthed, that child could legally be killed by a physician in Virginia. Quote, "If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be comfortable. Then the baby would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desire." Unquote. But if they don't desire resuscitation, the baby would die out of the womb. Millions of Americans were horrified by the governor's statement, but not the national media. The criticism of Northam was muted or non-existent in the liberal press, which is most of it. In fact, in its pro-abortion coverage of the March for Life on Friday, the New York Times wrote, quote, "The president accused Democrats of supporting infanticide," singling out Governor Ralph Northam of Virginia for supporting a late-term abortion bill that Mr. Trump falsely said would execute a baby after birth, unquote. But the president's statement was essentially true, capturing Northam's stated vision, which did not become law, by the way. So the New York Times misreported the entire thing. The March for Life, including Mr. Trump's very controversial remarks, received less than 1 minute of coverage combined on the nightly network newscasts. The print press grossly underestimated the crowd size, and NPR, among others, described the pro-life people as, quote, "anti-abortion rights activists," unquote. So if you oppose abortion, you are a rights violator, according to National Public Radio. Nice. There is no doubt that the liberal media worships at the altar of reproductive rights, and if your conscience opposes abortion, you are a bad person. There is little respect on the hard left for Christian beliefs or a definition of humanity that includes the unborn. And now the media has dictated that few restraints be put on an operation that the vast majority of American doctors will not even perform. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. For more honest and fact-based news analysis, please go to BillO'Reilly.com, where you can see me. Coming next, something you might not know. As we begin 2020, let's think about what that means. It's a crucial election year, but 2020 also means perfect vision, which means it's time to look clearly and realistically into your future. Because even if you're relatively healthy now, you or your spouse may soon need to pay for expensive medical care. The good news is, if you are age 75 or older and own a life insurance policy worth $100,000 or more, We Buy 75 is waiting to appraise it free and help you convert it into more cash than you've ever dreamed possible. Please call 844-WE-BUY-75 or visit WeBuy75, You'll never have to pay a life insurance premium again. There's no better feeling than having all the cash you need. And for the fun stuff, you've got it. You've seen and heard about We Buy 75 on TV and radio. So please call 844-WE-BUY-75 or visit WeBuy75.com today. So here's a little popular culture for you. This week marks the 73rd year since the death of one of the most famous gangsters in history, Al Capone. During the 1920s, Capone was the face of organized crime in America. His empire included bootlegging, gambling, prostitution, and murder. For 7 years, he ran the Chicago crime syndicate, eliminating anyone who got in his way. The gang's annual profit, $100 million. Adjusting for inflation, that's $1 billion today a year. Here are a few interesting facts about America's first notorious gangster. Capone's life of crime got an early start. At 14, he was kicked out of school for assaulting a teacher. He quickly turned to the street, bartending in a brothel before his 16th birthday. A knife attack gave Al Capone his famous facial scar. The press called him Scarface until his dying day. Blood, not thicker than booze, apparently. Al Capone's older brother, James, was a prohibition agent. Even though they were on opposite sides of the law, they never crossed paths. Family dinners, probably a bit uncomfortable if they had. Al was also a big jazz fan. He once kidnapped famous musician Fats Waller at gunpoint for a private birthday party. Capone was notoriously violent, but could also be generous, giving to various charities in Chicago, including his own soup kitchen. 2,000 folks a day were served during the Depression. But any admiration would not last long as the body count began to pile up. Al Capone was implicated in more than 100 murders, including the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929. He soon became public enemy number one. But the law couldn't get him on murder. Instead, the U.S. Treasury Department finally indicted Al Capone for tax evasion. Remember the $1 billion a year. Capone was convicted, sentenced to Alcatraz, where he began suffering from dementia brought on by syphilis. Al Capone died 73 years ago at age 48. Crime does not pay. Back after this. Near rock bottom, mortgage rates are behind a surge in refinance activity. Have you taken advantage of that? If not, you're not too late. Please take 10 minutes today. Make the call to American Financing. You can learn a lot about lower rates as well as many other refi benefits available to you, like consolidating high-interest debt, dropping mortgage insurance, accessing cash, or shortening your term. Whatever your need, they're here to help. They don't pressure you because it's their goal to help you achieve your goals. It really is. I've known them for a while now, and I respect the way they do business. They get to know you, then they customize a loan that can add hundreds, maybe even $1,000 back to your monthly budget without starting your term over. No upfront fees to pay, and it really only takes 10 minutes to get started. So please give them a call, 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, or AmericanFinancing.net. American Financing, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.